Hey, John.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Very good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
Interesting things going on. So I think now it's been over 2 weeks that companies have been boycotting Facebook. We talked a little bit about this last week, and those were fresh insights. We were considering where this thing is going,
Yep.
and now it's gaining momentum. So the list keeps growing. We have Starbucks, Ford, Unilever, Coca-Cola, Honda, many companies, right? And I keep wondering, so companies are boycotting Facebook because because of its policy
Hmm.
to not deal properly with hate speech.
Yep.
But if you're boycotting the biggest platform you have, the loudest megaphone you have to connect with the audience. Um, but at the same time, these companies, and you know this very well, they have used social media for their corporate social responsibility initiatives.
Right.
And for now, they're leaving that. So what do you think about this? What do you think that they're doing? Of course, on face value, it makes sense. But where is this heading?
It's a really good question. I don't think anyone knows, Anibal. I saw you, as I'm sure you did this morning, the news that Clorox is pulling its ad spend, and Clorox had become a very important advertiser over COVID because of everything that has been going on with its brand. Clorox has suddenly become an essential brand, right? And I think that I saw that they were spending, and I may get this wrong, but upwards of $4 million a month in Facebook advertising. And if you think about all the trends that went with, people doing online grocery shopping, channel shift and all of the things, it made a lot of sense. And suddenly, I think it, with a lot of other brands, are jumping on it. I really don't know. Is this a true, hey, we're gonna force some change, we're gonna connect, or is this, what I would call ad fat, right? So some high profile brands, very very progressive brands, Patagonia and North Face and some other folks began this thing. Starbucks kind of jumped in and said, hey, we're gonna cease all social media for a month, which I think is interesting because Starbucks is, I think one thing they do is very well is stop and consider the environment and then really think about what to do. They've done this before. So I don't know the answer where this is going to end up. Will brands really stay away? Because your point is this. We have a digital brand, and we use Facebook to do some very highly targeted advertisers for users for our app, our product at Photofy, because it works really, really well, as opposed to other places we could spend our money. So to your point, advertising is about the efficiency of reaching people in a place where they will take action. And right now, I would argue that there's not a more powerful platform for just straight ad efficiency than Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even above Google, even above Amazon, and I think those are great for specific things, but I think for a general audience, Facebook is the strongest out there, right? And so it's going to be interesting. Will advertisers truly say, I'm going to go somewhere else, or I'm just going to do some things differently, or is this a trend and Facebook will make some changes? I mean, what's the goal? When do these advertisers come back? What has Facebook done to manage that and control that?
And, and they're targeting particularly Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Um,
so is it possible that for now they're shifting their ads to the other platforms, to Google perhaps?
It could be. I would imagine Amazon is a beneficiary. Google is probably a beneficiary. Snap took early action against saying we're not going to allow these kinds of things on our platform, and I thought that was great. And I still think Snap is so undervalued as a media network. Anybody that has a teenager can tell you, um, I mean, it is literally that, and
They're
TikTok is
there.
where my daughter spends all of her time, right? She has a Facebook account for some reason, I think, so they can look and maybe see what's going on from time to time. But anytime I mention Facebook, she's like, "What are you talking about?" So
Okay.
yeah, I think very very much so. Other networks could be beneficiaries. I think it's an opportunity for other networks to step in and say, you probably saw the news from Reddit this week. Reddit, which is famously stayed out of any moderation to the point of there's just some bad stuff on Reddit, right? Um, they whacked a couple thousand accounts this week. They said,
Hmm.
yeah, we're just not going to have that. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing to watch, and I really don't think anyone has any idea where it's going to end up.
Okay, so we're still uncertain. Obviously, Facebook is not going to go anywhere. They will still be there. So what we're
Well, its stock
expecting
was
to
up about
see,
$7. Uh,
yeah. So
I
what
said,
we're expecting to see is to see
sure.
if if um, if they will take action,
Hmm.
um, if ad revenue goes elsewhere,
Hmm.
and where it goes, and also the corporate social responsibility initiatives and engagement, because the tactic has been to boycott.
Yep.
So on one hand, you can boycott, you can use your financial power to do that. On the other hand, is actually engage in the cause, and that these brands are doing elsewhere.
Well, there
So I
were.
think it's going to be interesting to see this balance. So what is more powerful strategy for brands, or for whomever, right,
Sure.
who is engaging in this, which is boycotting versus engaging.
Versus engaging. Yeah, and I think this is a little bit of both, right? Because I think brands are saying, and I think it's across the board, right? So I've noticed an uptick of lots of less approachable conversations starting to happen on LinkedIn, right? Feels very much more like, I saw an article about Nike, and instantly there was a battle about um, the Colin Kaepernick issue and something else. And I'm like, that's really not what I expect there, on that channel. And would it be less valuable to me if that kinds of conversation begin to really? It would, and I don't think as a person connected to a brand, I would really want my brand associated with those things.
Mhm.
But people are going to have to make choices because, again, that's where people spend time and energy. And I think Facebook, like some of the larger media networks, Fox and CNN and others, realize that when people are mad, they pay attention. So, what is my job as a media property? It's a tough conversation. It is a really tough conversation. I'm sure that's going on in a lot of media platforms and a lot of brands today.